every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money, and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? And they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds. Because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Numbers keep updating. And so we're trying to put it all together. What I can safely say is that we are now over 20 million viewers across just social. So we haven't even gotten our partner broadcasters, their analytics. As you know, sometimes the ratings take a little while, but that's 20 million viewers. And we don't know how many people were gathered together, 3, 4, 10 in a room watching together. So we're going to try and put a final number on that when we can. What we can safely say is over 20 million Americans tuned in to the All-American Halftime Show tonight.
That's what he can safely say. Now, for people who have been on YouTube, YouTubers, so to speak, like myself, for more than 10 years, I was just in awe that they were going to try to sell this, that they were going to do what he did with his face and just lie and pretend that 6 million I think he even at one point says 10 million, but it says 6 million concurrent viewers they had on YouTube alone. Okay. If you know YouTube at all, that's just not true on its face. It's actually, I laughed when I saw, I was like, this is actually crazy. I can't believe they're actually going to try to pull this off. And I'm going to walk you through this so you don't even have to have my background on YouTube to understand why this number is impossible. First and foremost, you can just do this test. What do we have? Right now, we have 95,000 people that are watching this show. As soon as this show concludes, I want you to see how many views YouTube is going to instantly give it right away. It's probably going to be something like 200,000 to 300,000 views right away as it continues to tabulate. This is a screenshot of their viewership after 6 million people tuned in concurrently at the exact same time. So that was 6 million people watching, like we have 95,000 people watching right now on YouTube. As soon as they finished, look at that 5,839 views with 175 comments. That is an impossible metric. But 667,000 likes. This is made up. But again, like I said, maybe you're not familiar with how YouTube works. So allow me to present it to you another way so you can really drill into your head how despicable this organization has become and there's just no association with the truth. So I'm going to present to you now the official list of the top YouTube streams based off of concurrent viewership. We're going to go through this list so that you fully appreciate what you are being asked to believe. Everything is a rich man's trick. That's what's happening right now. This is the highest live concurrent viewers on YouTube. These were the events. Number one was in India. That is a nation of 1.5 billion people. They had a moon mission and 8 million people in India tuned into it. That is believable, okay? Turning Point wants you to believe that they're number 2 now, okay? The next 2 through 20 are all proper football, meaning soccer in America events. You can see it's the World Cup, which is the biggest sport in the world. And when people streamed it, it looks like the 2022 World Cup comes into the second spot, Brazil versus Croatia. When it was streamed on YouTube, 6.1 million people tuned in. Again, this is the biggest sport in the world, soccer. They're trying to tell us that football, which only has a hold in America, this is a sport literally for America, and then Turning Point USA comes and they divide the fans by saying, we're doing just a conservative halftime sport. So they even halved their potential to appeal to half of the football, people that are watching football. And then on top of that, the people who are divided because they just don't like what Turning Point USA has become since Charlie was assassinated, and that their loose association, their loose relationship with the truth since Charlie was assassinated. They want you to believe that in spite of all of that, they are now, they're number 2. They broke the record. So bye-bye football around the world. It's now Turning Point USA. 6 million people turned in live to watch their Kid Rock and Lee Bryce. And there was a couple of other artists that were involved, pre-recorded performance. Okay. Now, my understanding in looking at this is that this is it. They're going to force Erica on us. Like I said, this is the Kamala thing. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it. We just got our hands up. We are literally victims here. They have the money, they have the power, and we're going to shut up and we're going to take it. And we're going to have to accept this audacious polling. It's going to be Andrew Colbert up on Fox News. Like, it's amazing. She is more popular than Cristiano Ronaldo. It's just, the internet loves it. YouTube loves her, and we're amazed that we pulled this thing off. That's the vibe. Okay? We no longer live in a meritocracy. And Turning Point USA are effectively the righteous gemstones now. If you don't like Erica, then it's because you don't like Jesus. If you don't like what Turning Point's become, it's because you do not like Jesus. This is our new purchased reality. And I want to really drive this point home to you. I can't even think of how many times I could underscore how absurd what they presented here is. And as a YouTuber, this offends me. People who actually put in hard work, try to produce a show, you should be offended by this, okay? I would guess that the most authentically watched event for Turning Point USA's YouTube page happened right after Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Remember, Erica first addressed the nation, and she did this in Charlie's studio. Everyone was rooting for her in this moment, waiting to see what she was going to say as the widow. If you go online right now, her address as a widow to the nation has 4.1 million views on Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel. It also has 36,000 comments. Okay, so 4 million views, 36,000 comments. If you know YouTube, that's right. They didn't fake that. That's real. I want you to compare that to the Turning Point halftime show, which just like Biden's vote in 2020, when we slept, a bunch of more views came in on YouTube. They were like, people were like, I love it even more in the middle of the night. That now has over 20 million views. And yet, only 46,000 comments. It's impossible. It's literally made up. Like I said, you know that the Erica address is an authentic representation of views because of the views to comments ratio. I'll give you an example. My last episode, The Letter to Erica on YouTube, that got 3.1 million views. It has 28,000 comments. So almost too close for a 20 million view video. Now, why does this actually matter? Why am I spending time speaking to you about this? Because it is such a perfect analogy for what this organization has become. Wealthy, corrupt, and dishonest. Just to our faces. It is, to me, so reminiscent of everything Tucker said when he got onto stage at SAS, when the Jewish donors got angry, when he questioned exactly where this money is coming from, how these people are becoming billionaires. People that are not impressive, that are not smart, are suddenly, we just learned that they're billionaires. Money is being thrown at them. And there are people who are smarter than them, who work harder than them. And he is essentially saying, we no longer live in a meritocracy. This is just a fiction, a total fiction. And I also want to stress here that what upsets me about it is it's exactly everything that Charlie Kirk hated. When we were hitting the ground, we were talking about the need for free markets. This is not an example of the free markets. This is an example of crony capitalism. It's crony capitalism. They're just, you're going to take it. This is what we're bigger than Cristiano Ronaldo. We don't know why. It's just, you had like Alex Clark shamelessly tweeting, everyone said we were over, but look at this. 100 million views. It's just fiction. So fiction that even Tyler Boyer, who happens to be a sexual deviant and also a committed homosexual part-time, is tweeting this out from Bad Bunny's performance. He actually tweeted this. Why is Turning Point USA, he wrote, why Turning Point USA ended up with one of the largest YouTube concurrent live streams in history tonight. And he shows something that he probably likes, if I'm guessing, this moment of two men dancing on each other. And of all people to tweet this, it's Tyler Boyer. It is Tyler Boyer. Everything is fake. A lot of it is gay. These, again, are the righteous gemstones. And we are looking at, to me, fake Christianity. It's like Christianity Inc. Now, Bad Bunny did not, in fact, wear a dress at the Super Bowl. He didn't, which, like I said, I'm very against that. I don't think we should be intentionally emasculating men. So that leaves us with Turning Point USA's performance. Now, we should be clear it was a pre-record. Okay, so Bad Bunny was performing live, Turning Point USA pre-recorded, I think, a couple of weeks ago. And so they had time to edit and to present this. Now, I'm going to park aside the artists who actually performed. Kid Rock, Lee Brice. I actually want to be clear. I love Lee Brice's music. I went to a Lee Brice concert here in town. So this is not meant to be a commentary on them, but rather at the audacity of what Turning Point USA did as an organization. Turning Point USA is effectively now running Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. Okay. No Democrat voted for Kamala Harris, voted for Biden. And then they just said, here, now you get Kamala and we're running her against Donald Trump. But Democrats had to accept that because the DNC machine just had so much money and they're like, we're just going to make her a thing. That's it. And they ignored the true metrics and just said, this is it. And then they acted aghast and shocked when Kamala Harris did not win. Turning Point USA now has so much money that they believe that similarly they can afford to outright purchase reality. They want you to believe, this is unbelievable, I'm going to walk you through how absurd this is, that when they aired this halftime performance, 6 million concurrent viewers tuned in. Just so you understand what that means. 6 million people at the same time were watching this around the world. That's what concurrent viewership means. So they decided to tune in to this Super Bowl halftime performance. And I want you to listen to that straight from Andrew Colvette's mouth. Let's bring that clip in, Don, if you can.
Andrew, I watched your show. It was great. How did you do? Do you have a sense of how many people watched?
Yeah, it was kind of blew our minds actually a little bit, Brian. And we saw at one point across all the different social channels, we saw over 10 million concurrent views. So that was adding up all of Rumble and all of our partners just on the social side. So, and now the numbers keep trickling in. I mean, right now as I'm sitting here.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to Lunch with the New Party. I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Heaven.
So as you can see it, that Candace is saying that the views are fake. I did a poll. You guys are 58% yes, that is fake. 42% no, saying that it's real. Heaven, what's your guess? Is it real or is it fake? Are the streams fake?
It's possible. Stuff don't add up. It doesn't add up. Comments to views to likes. Okay. Majority of the internet is fake. Honestly.
Artists definitely buy bots, and Kid Rock also was being accused of faking bots because he released a new song after this, and all of a sudden now he's #1 on the Billboard charts. Now, as a YouTuber, like Candace Owens said, I'm offended because we come on here every day. We try to give people the right information. We try to get the best clips and things like that, and then people still aren't satisfied. So for them to just pretend and say, oh, look at how great we are when you're competing against, people, that kind of makes it hard if you're in the industry.
And the amount of money that TPUSA has received since Charlie Kirk's assassination is absurd. Not just from people giving. And these people don't have half of the money that Erica Kirk had even before she met Charlie. So these are people, good Christian, good-hearted, loving, kind people, donating probably not, they don't have much to give, but they still give. And they're giving to someone who's also now taking billions of dollars from Israel, which Charlie Kirk refused to take. But now they're taking that. So I've always said it's left and right. It's left wing and the right wing of the same bird. And I feel like regardless if the streams are true or not, if they're real or not, the whole goal is to divide us. It's to divide us completely. And taking something as American as football, as American as the Super Bowl, or our football, because we have different football, and saying no, we're gonna segregate ourselves. We're gonna make a different halftime show. That's never happened. So you're dividing the country at a very sacred point for our country. Super Bowl is something everybody rallies around. It doesn't matter whose teams are playing. Like, even if it's not my team, I'm still watching and I'm still picking a team,
It's like a national
So
holiday.
I just think all of it is terrible. Yeah, it is. People take the day off afterward. Like, it is. This is like, the Super Bowl is the most American thing, regardless of who's playing the halftime show.
But what I will say, as a YouTuber, those numbers don't make sense. You're only going to get a certain amount of comments if you get a certain amount of views. Like, And then on there, they had more likes than actual views. So, I mean, it basically seems like it was fake, but this is Candace's thoughts on the actual halftime show.
We should be clear, it was a pre-record. Okay, so Bad Bunny was performing live, Turning Point USA pre-recorded, I think, a couple of weeks ago. And so they had time to edit and to present this. Now, I'm going to park aside the artists who actually performed. Kid Rock, Lee Bryce. I actually want to be clear, I love Lee Bryce's music. I went to a Lee Bryce concert here in town. So this is not meant to be a commentary on them, but rather at the audacity of what Turning Point USA did as an organization. Turning Point USA is effectively now running Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, okay? No Democrat voted for Kamala Harris, voted for Biden, and then they just said, here, now you get Kamala, and we're running her against Donald Trump. But Democrats had to accept that because the DNC machine just had so much money, and they're like, we're just going to make her a thing. That's it. And they ignored the true metrics and just said, this is it. And then they acted aghast and shocked when Kamala Harris did not win. Turning Point USA now has so much money that they believe that similarly they can afford to outright purchase reality. They want you to believe, this is unbelievable, I'm going to walk you through how absurd this is, that when they aired this halftime performance, 6 million concurrent viewers tuned in. Just so you understand what that means. 6 million people at the same time were watching this around the world. That's what concurrent viewership means. So they decided to tune in to this Super Bowl halftime performance. And I want you to listen to that straight from Andrew Colvette's mouth. Let's bring that clip in, Don, if you can.
Andrew, I watched your show. It was great. How did you do? Do you have a sense of how many people watched?
Yeah, it was kind of blew our minds actually a little bit, Brian. And we saw at one point across all the different social channels, we saw over 10 million concurrent views. So that was adding up all of Rumble and all of our partners just on the social side. So, and now the numbers keep trickling in. I mean, right now as I'm sitting here, YouTube's numbers keep updating. And so we're trying to put it all together. What I can safely say is that we are now over 20 million viewers across just social. So we haven't even gotten our partner broadcasters, their analytics. As you know, sometimes the ratings take a little while, but that's 20 million viewers. And we don't know how many people were gathered together, 3, 4, 10 in a room watching together. So we're going to try and put a final number on that when we can. What we can safely say is over 20 million Americans tuned in to the All-American Halftime Show tonight.
That's what he can safely say. Now, for people who have been on YouTube, YouTubers, so to speak, like myself, for more than 10 years, I was just in awe that they were going to try to sell this, that they were going to do what he did with his face and just lie and pretend that 6 million, I think he even at one point said 10 million, but it says 6 million concurrent viewers they had on YouTube alone, okay? If you know YouTube at all, that's just not true on its face. It's actually, I laughed when I saw, I was like, this is actually crazy. I can't believe they're actually going to try to pull this off. And I'm going to walk you through this so you don't even have to have my background on YouTube to understand why this number is impossible. First and foremost, you can just do this test. What do we have? Right now, we have 95,000 people that are watching this show. As soon as this show concludes, I want you to see how many views YouTube is going to instantly give it right away. It's probably going to be something like 200,000 to 300,000 views right away as it continues to tabulate. This is a screenshot of their viewership after 6 million people tuned in concurrently at the exact same time. So that was 6 million people watching, like we have 95,000 people watching right now on YouTube. As soon as they finished, look at that 5,839 views with 175 comments. That is an impossible metric. But 667,000 likes. This is made up. But again, like I said, maybe you're not familiar with how YouTube works, so allow me to present it to you another way so you can really drill into your head how to.
All right, everyone in the chat, we're at 81 people in the room. So after this, go look and see what the actual numbers are. For me,
and hit the like button while you're at it. If you're going and looking at that, just
absolutely hit the like button. And to say the poll again, 56% people think that it's fake. I think that it was faked. It's just getting crazy with not knowing what's real and what's fake with Epstein, and like it's so many political things going on. You don't know what's real anymore. I mean, it's actually kind of sad at this point. And so people notice Bad Bunny had the most views of any halftime show ever in life. So he's number one with the most viewers of on a halftime show. So even them cheating didn't really do anything. I mean, he had over 160 million people watching.
Regardless of the numbers, I feel it's a disservice to the people who isolated themselves, because regardless if you understand Spanish or not, the message that Bad Bunny put forth in his performance was very unifying. And he called God Bless America, and he named all the Americas, Latin America, Canada. He included everyone. And his message was about togetherness and how America is Latin America. America is Canada. America is America. And I feel like people missed out on that message, whether
And,
they understood Spanish or not.
and I'm gonna show the full ignorance because Jake Paul lives in Puerto Rico, but had the audacity to say that Bad Bunny's not a real American.
Move to Puerto Rico, extract resources from them, dodge paying into the system that you claim to love, and then come out here and say, Bad Bunny, you. Jake Paul and Logan Paul both live in Puerto Rico, in part because they are able to dodge federal income taxes, purposefully turning off the halftime show. Let's rally together and show big corporations they can't just do whatever they want without consequences. What is he even talking about? Turn off the whole football show. You know what I mean? All of the corporations are in the commercials, buddy. Maybe Jake Paul got punched a few too many times in the head, but he says, you are their benefit. Realize you have power. Turn off this halftime. A fake American citizen performing who publicly hates America. I cannot support that. How disgusting. Quite frankly, and I like the Logan Paul, Jake Paul reality show they have because they're interesting, self-made, multi-millionaires. But like, how ridiculous. Both live in Puerto Rico. They moved there from the mainland in 2021 and have established homes on the island largely for lifestyle and tax-related reasons. That's right. When you live there, you don't pay federal income tax, if you're a resident there. And, you probably, I think you give up your right to vote as well. I could be wrong about that. I'm not entirely sure. Don't move to Puerto Rico. Extract resources from them, dodge paying into the system that you claim to love, and then come out here and say, Bad Bunny, you. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm sure he's not out there helping restore electricity in Puerto Rico. Prove me wrong, Jake. But like, golly, are they on the wrong side of history?
I mean, how insulting is that for you to live there and you to attack the biggest artist from there? You're basically, you and your brother living there, and you want to attack Bad Bunny. You should have been celebrating him. Go ahead.
You know what makes sense though? Like how confused people are, because we heard our president say that he spoke to the president of Puerto Rico. Sir, you are the president of Puerto Rico. What do you mean? So, of course, people are going to be confused. And I saw someone saying, how would they know what the message was if he speaks Spanish? Well, he said it in English. He said, God bless America, and named all of the Americas with all the flags behind him. So regardless if you could understand his accent or not, all the flags. An American flag was the first flag in the line for that.
I also want to respond before you finish, Heaven, to Lord Noroko. He said, again, to say the halftime show had the most views seems a bit disingenuous, given the Super Bowl always breaks new viewership records consecutively each year. So that's what I keep trying to tell people. So, yes, Lord, you're right. But what the NFL was doing was they're trying to break into the Latin market. They had a game in Brazil, and so they brought Bad Bunny to try to have more people internationally watch the game. So that is true, but they purposely did that to try to get a bigger audience. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, Heaven. Go ahead.
I think all of it kind of detracts and takes our focus away from what we should be focused on, which is instead of ICE going door to door, busting people's doors down in Philadelphia and in Minnesota and everywhere else, we should be going door to door to see if we should grab the pitchforks and the torches, because last time I checked, the Epstein file showed like the government's been hiding and protecting people who are graping and munching on children. Just look up jerky. I just look up jerky in the files. It's insane. Like, what are we doing? Beneath it's hard.
All the energy. That's what this is.
How was it out What does this mean? What does this mean?
So that was just them leaving the game at the end. I just wanted to see what that was. So you watched the game, right, Heaven?
No, I did not. I did not watch the game, although it is an American pastime. Once I saw in the Epstein files when he had said the Saints were going to win, but before the Saints had won, I was like, bruh, everything's a lie. Everything's a lie.
So they say it's the untold story. Let me play this.
Forming a football field into a Puerto Rican landscape, launching nearly 10,000 pyrotechnics, and blessing a couple's union, here's how Bad Bunny's incredible Super Bowl halftime show came to life. Each time in its nearly 60-year history, putting on the Super Bowl halftime show gets harder. While last year's Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar had to grapple with bringing a gutted GNX onto a stage on sensitive turf, this year's hurdles related to recreating Bad Bunny's home of Puerto Rico at Levi Stadium's real grass field in under 8 minutes. The NFL's guidelines for this year wouldn't allow more than 25 carts to transfer equipment onto the field as they tear up the grass. To solve the problem, Bruce and Shelley Rogers, the legendary producers behind the halftime show for nearly 2 decades, came up with an idea, getting nearly 380 people to become sugarcane and other plants instead. Under their plan, the sets would be safely rolled out on 25 carts, equipped with turf tires. Meanwhile, palm trees and telephone poles would be rolled out in a similar way to how the streetlights were placed for Lamar's street scene from the previous Super Bowl. The team only had a few weeks to fabricate, source set pieces, and balance authenticity with logistical realities, Bruce Rogers told Wired. It was very dramatic and intense.
So a lot of the people on the right are making racist comments where you saw the little people walking around as a sugar cane. They're saying, oh, those people, Bad Bunny was helping his people hide from ICE.
The blatant racism is disgusting. Across, like, people insulting people who don't speak English perfectly. They speak 2 languages. Do you? As an American, do you? No? Then shut the fuck up. If your family are immigrants, which mine are, because I'm Irish, am I going to complain about immigrants? No, because my family were immigrants. Like, it's, and no, I didn't watch the football because I don't really watch TV. I haven't really. Somebody said of course you didn't watch football. No, I didn't, because I don't watch TV anymore, really.
So
it's stupid. I'm done with it. I'm done. Like, majority of the actors, majority of the music, majority of everything and every, like, football, everything we've known. Go look at the Epstein files. Like, go look at that, because children are being raped, eaten, murdered. Like, oh my God. And for our whole lives, and our government's covering it up. Governments across the world have now started investigations.
Well,
how about we talk about Italy, Milan, the Olympics, ICE getting their ass beat in the streets? Like that. Let's talk about that.
Hold on, Heaven. We're going to be talking about the Epstein files tonight. Come back at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have that, and we'll go through all of the Epstein files. So Heaven said people not talking about it. We're going to be talking about it. So this seems to be based on racism, and people are accusing Trump and the TPUSA doing this because Bad Bunny's Hispanic, and some people are trying to say the things he was against with ICE. So we're going to do a throwback clip of the president before he was even really that big as he is, even on a reality show, being accused of racism with his father.
There came a day in 1973 when the federal government sued Donald and Fred by name and their company for racial bias. This was one of the greatest racial bias cases of its time.
This was a particularly egregious case because the Trump organization had allegedly put large C's to connote people of color who were applying for apartments.
The government had him nailed. They had the Trump organization nailed. There were multiple Trump employees who confessed that they had been instructed to divert black applicants for apartments, to discourage them, to tell them that apartments had been rented when they hadn't been.
Donald Trump's regular lawyers tell him, settle it, just move on, do the right thing, do what you're supposed to do under the law. And Trump's not happy with that advice.
He wanted to fight back. He went looking for a new lawyer in Manhattan.
One of the places to see and be seen in Manhattan was called Le Club. Donald Trump walked in, and Roy Cohn was there holding court, as he often did. And Trump said, you know, I know about you. Can I ask you a question?
Roy Cohn had 20 years of being a really aggressive, no holds barred, go for the jugular, fight back. Anybody says something to you, throw it back at them guy. He was famous for that behavior. And as legend has it, Donald stuck out his hand and introduced himself and said, my father is being sued by the Justice Department over this race discrimination. What should we do?
And he said, listen, I've spent 2 days with these establishment law firms about a case we have. It was a civil rights case. What's happening? And they're all telling us, give up, do this, sign a decree, and all of that. He says, I followed your career, and you're a little bit crazy like I am, and you stand up to the establishment. Can I come see you? And I said, sure.
When they met, Roy said to him, you might be guilty, it doesn't matter. Go after the Justice Department. Don't ever admit guilt.
Fight it. You'll kill them. Just deny everything and fight. And Trump was totally taken by that, and he hired Roy Cohn as his lawyer.
That was a defining moment for Donald Trump. Donald Trump was on the ropes. There was no doubt they discriminated. There's no doubt there was wrongdoing. And yet, Roy Cohn showed him that you can turn around a situation just by ignoring the facts and going after your attacker. Trump countersued the Justice Department for $100 million.
I have never, nor has anyone in our organization ever, to the best of my knowledge, discriminated or shown bias in renting our apartments.
This is a classic example of where Trump begins to demonstrate something he talks about all the time today, which is he's a counterpuncher. So somebody comes out after him and says that he's done something nefarious and horrible, and he just goes back at them with all guns blazing. You know, boom, 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 and admits nothing, never admit anything, never say you made a mistake, just keep coming.
His countersuit didn't work, and in fact, he did end up quietly settling out of court. But Roy went on the offensive and said, this is a victory. Trump was vindicated. He knew before anybody else did that the court of public opinion is often more important than a court of law. The lesson from Roy Cohn was, don't go the way the establishment does. Don't play by the rules.
Donald Trump learned a lot of things from Roy Cohn, but I think that you could kind of sum it up by saying that bullying works really well. If you punch back, most people withdraw and just look at what you can get away with.
For Donald Trump, Roy Cohn's playbook would become a guide to life, business, and politics.
A witch hunt, a horrible, horrible, disgusting witch hunt.
I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Cohn's approach to life that he conveys to Trump is you fight back, and you fight dirty if you have to. Trump articulates this.
And we fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
If somebody attacks him, he attacks them back, he says, 10 times as hard. He's not about diplomacy, he's not about negotiation, he is all about the fight.
See, Heaven, no one wants to deal with that. These people are attacking people. So even if you say, oh, okay, well, we should go at them about the files, they created their own halftime show, they're being racist, they're doing this, like all these things I feel like are to exhaust the people. Like people have to live lives, they got to work, they got to provide for their children, they got to pay their bills. So I don't think people are interested, just your normal everyday people, are interested in fighting against the government. And then, but these like fake
I don't even know why we're still paying rent. Why are we still paying? Like, why is anybody still paying rent? Why? If everybody just stops, like, elect all of it, like, why? Why are we doing it? Because these corporations and these companies are all tied into all of the exploitation of all of us that gets us to this point where we're like, we only can, live for the weekends? Americans live for the weekends and the times they can get drunk? Like, it subdues us. There's been worldwide chaos. But as long as the left and the right stay divided, or we stay divided along color lines or any other line, make us look at any other line except up. Remember that movie, Don't Look Up? Don't look up. Don't look up. Hey, guys, don't look up. Look at each other. Don't look up.
Nice. Well, I will play someone that was happy about this. As you say, we need to come together. This person was happy about the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, man, are you as emotional as I am? To see your people out there celebrate it, it's getting to me. Boss.
That's John Leguizamo. For people who don't know, I think it was called 2-1 Fool. He played a trans, and that was one of his like biggest roles. So yeah, some people are like extremely happy and like to see their culture out there, you know. Some for people to be upset about that, you know, it's actually kind of sad, you know, for someone to be crying to be so happy, and then some people that like actually hate that for someone to feel that way.
I love seeing the representation, and I think it's the most American thing we can do, because what does our Statue of Liberty stand for? Like, that's where immigrants came through. Like, that's what we were built for. That's what we preached, right? We have a harbor dedicated specifically to raise a light to the immigrants, to raise a light to the world. And are we doing that? No. It's just like a Black Mermaid. Does it really matter? Because it was white all the time in the cartoon. Does it matter if a little black girl gets to see herself? It's a bit like, honestly, does it matter? It's a fictional character. Does it matter that a little black girl gets to see herself in a movie this time? Because every other time it's like the black princess is green the whole time because she's a frog. The fuck?
So some people say this clip proves that Trump is a racist.
Donald Trump, smell the money. Niggas, you know who you with. It's Tony Yayo up in this. Donald Trump, just say something.
I'm here, folks. I'm here.
Wow. Smell the money.
Great group of people.
Smell the money. That Trump.
You owe who kid a lot of money.
I'm here with Donald Trump. I never thought I'd be next to this guy, man.
Let him talk. Let him speak.
Mr. Trump, are you going to buy my album June 28th? I'll be first in line to buy your album.
Thank you, sir.
Wow,
I just want to be your friend. 50.
That's
We
a
got
familiar
Donald
voice.
Trump here.
I hear you on there with the big man.
Yeah, I told him you on his heels.
How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm fine.
Well, you know, I have some kids, and myself included, but I have kids, they think you are the best, the absolute best.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, I'll tell you. My little daughter Ivanka and my son Eric, these people, they just love your music.
Wow, man, I'm going to keep making it.
Well, you're going to keep making it, and you better keep making it. I'm going to have some angry children if you don't keep making it.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you. Congratulations on the great success, man. That's amazing.
Man. Thank you.
You know, he's shooting a movie right now called Get Rich or Die Trying, loosely based on his life, right, Fifth?
Yale's bugging out of
Yeah. Fifth, I'm taking pictures and anything with Trump. I don't care, man. You 50 Cent and Donald Trump are my idols.
So, I mean, does that clip absolve Trump of being racist in your view, Heaven?
No, that's like saying I can't be racist because I have a black friend.
That's how I feel.
What? Wait, what? No, yes, you can. And until you deconstruct that, you'll continue to be a racist because you don't realize when you're being racist because you can't take the critique from people. But don't get your white feelings hurt, okay? Because someone else gets represented, because then you get less representation. Huh? Wah. Cry. Who's really like it's just I can't have all the halftime show attention, so I'm gonna make my own halftime show. Okay. Shut the fuck up. Good God. It like white tears in action.
Were you a 50 Cent fan?
When I was younger, yeah.
So I'm gonna play what happened.
With this whole petty shit, yeah, even more so. With his Diddy pettiness. I mean, his revenge is, I think, we need to sick him on the Epstein list, people. I'm just saying. If anybody can do it, 50 can do it.
So one of 50's biggest ops was Ja Rule, and the guy Tony Yayo, who was just in a video that we seen, ran into Ja Rule on a first-class flight. Here's a video.
Federal regulations prohibit the use of cellular networks during flight, the use of Wi-Fi to make video or voice calls.
This is Ja Rule.
This is Ja Rule. Stow your tray table and carry on item.
This is
Ensure all armrests are in the resting position.
I'm gonna show the altercation between them.
Let's shake. Let's shake. Come on. Let's shake. Pillow like a.
Let's shake.
Let's shake. Pillow like a. Let's shake. Let's shake. Come on. Let's shake. Pillow like a.
Let's shake.
Let's shake. Pillow like a.
I don't know, man. I don't trust TMZ. They're like, yo, why did like TMZ was the first to have like Tyler Robinson stuff, right?
Yeah.
TMZ was the first to get Nancy Guthrie's why? TMZ, why? Why did they get the ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mom? Like, huh? Like, I don't know. They seem a little controlled media to me, but what do I know? I just got trained by the government in media literacy for 15 years, but I know nothing.
I want to show you this clip of this guy, the wide receiver for the Patriots, what he wore to the Super Bowl. Now, he went barefoot. He put that on, and he was holding his coach old uniform, saying that it's Warriors. Do you feel like the costume, the theater stuff is getting too crazy, like, or was that creative?
So what did he do it for?
He was like, I guess his coach team was like the Warriors, so he wasn't look like he was crazy or character or something like that. He dressed up like that when he.
From what I heard, it was a protest of ICE.
Oh,
and how
really?
they're treating immigrants. Yeah, that's what I saw. That's why I was like, "What did you see?" Because I was like, "Huh, okay." Yes, from what I heard, it was him showing like ICE like detainees right now. But I mean, if that's not what a warrior looks like. I don't.
The jersey,
not-
the jersey is the
Yeah.
Warriors team that was in his hand.
Yeah, but he was cuffed at his ankles. He had his jersey off and he was cuffed. You know what I mean? Like
that. No, that's the first time
know.
I'm hearing that. So I'm glad that you told me.
Yeah.
I know that.
And that's why like and
This is
it hits hard a little bit for me. Because my daughter's father was in Alligator Alcatraz and was deported. So I know the conditions that these immigrants are going through. So yeah.
But yeah, that wide receiver is Matt Collins. But we're gonna end it on a funny clip. So this is
Yes,
what
my
it
funny
was saying at the Super Bowl game.
Picheo partido, yo me quedo en Palomino. Si no me voy para soy la capital del perreo, ahora todos quieren ser latinos.
If
You
you're
see the
watching,
white lady's face?
yeah. If you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell to know when we go live. Heaven, what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts. Stop letting them pit us against each other. Yes, it was every Democratic president that helped cover it up. It was our current president who was involved as well. And once we stop trying to own the other side and realize that they're fighting against us together, doesn't matter what side you're on, then we can actually move forward and figure out how, as a nation, we're going to hold people accountable, because clearly they're not holding themselves accountable. And do you really expect pedophiles to do that? No, they're not. Especially not ones in power and with all the money. So we need to come together now more than ever. And that's what I will always preach. Put your hate aside for once, just for once, because it will be our lives on the line.
Thank you. So my final thoughts are tonight we will be doing a deep dive into the Epstein files. Heaven keeps bringing it up, so we are deep diving into the Epstein files. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Me and Heaven do the Lunch with a New Party every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the New Party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.